I love days that are a reminder of who we are, and International Women's Day is it. So hello ladies, stand up, give yourself an applause, honey. Right? Even though they appreciate us so much that they really didn't give us the day off, right? Like, isn't that a mess? Like, can we have a moment? Can we please? All right. Like, I have always been around like some really amazing women. I have like a thing for strong women because I've been around so many of them. More so because I was, and I guess to a degree, I don't know if you ever stopped being an athlete, but I was an athlete in high school. I went to Clyde Barton High School. I ran track there. I ran privately during the summer, and for UConn. And like, we've just formed like priceless relationships, like the kind that like we may not see each other for a while, but we walk into the room and you can pick up where you left off and you feel like these like ladies got your back forever, like that kind of indescribable relationship. And it's a feeling that I think every woman should have, right? Have you ever been in a community like that? I would love to hear, which ones, and kind of put that in the chat for me. I still kind of continue with that. I run with BGR, Black Girls Run, and because of them I've done some like real outlandish things as a runner. And I think running kind of gives you so many lessons around life, right? And for me, I think personal growth really kind of requires you to be around some outlandish people sometimes, right? Like, you need to be around people that are going to force you to push your own envelope sometimes. Would you agree with that? And if you agree with that, even if you're catching this on the replay, make sure that you drop a heart so I know, right? Does personal growth require you to be around people that are going to push you to do some outlandish things? Like, my answer is yes, right? Because some of us just need like a good push out of our comfort zone, not a nudge, not a tap, but like a haul your ass out of there kind of situation. And I think certain groups will do that for you. And I think if you're listening to me, you're probably in that realm somewhere of knowing like you need that sometimes too. And I hope that you find that if you don't have it, right? For me, personal growth is important. I hope it is for you. I think even though there's things that I would love to change and maybe work on, there are some things that I don't want to work on, right? But the things that I do want to change, I'm proactive about, right? But, real talk, the things that I'm probably going to leave alone, like the fact that I'm late all the damn time, I'm okay with that, even if you might not be okay with that, right? But, when it comes to growth, I know for sure growth is an action word, right? It requires a lot, like a seed, it requires a lot of energy for a seed to develop into this plant or this tree, right? And the issue with a lot of us in this space is we don't like the process of growth. We just like to hear about it and wish that could be us. Well, listen. It's easy to consume. It's easy to consume all the self-help books, all the lives, all the workshops, all the shows, all the resources out there. But actually putting what you learn into action isn't always fun. It actually takes work, right? I had this conversation with a client earlier today. It takes work. Like, you could have all the tools you want, but it still takes a lot of work. And that only you can do that, right? If we don't really implement what we learn, we're not really growing. And that's the thing. Like, a lot of us may think that we are because we're consuming so much. And even the word consumption to me is like a crazy image. I just picture somebody just like taking in, hoarding, right? Putting on weight, getting all like big and outrageous, right? But you're not really doing anything. It's not good for you. It's not healthy for your own development, right? So if you aren't really growing, it may be because you're taking on a lot of things that's not good for your development, or you're really just occupying space where someone else could be thriving, right? And I don't want that for you. I want all of us to thrive, especially all the women in the room, honey, right? So, I think at some point we've got to figure out, am I consuming too much, and do I need to shift from a consumer to a doer? And sometimes you may not have all the pieces and the parts to that, and that's okay, right? But you probably have a lot of great strengths to get you there. And I want you to start acknowledging that for yourself and really celebrating that, right? I talk about moving from fear to extraordinary goals a lot, and I'm going to give you how you can do that today. I'm so glad you agree, girl. I see you, right? So one of the ways to do that is to evaluate. I want you to evaluate where you are. Ask yourself, like, am I happy with all the areas in my life right now? Or do I feel like slow and sluggish and overwhelmed because I've been consuming and not really doing, right? Do I feel like I could be doing more? Ask yourself, what's missing? What's not working for you? Right? What would make me feel more fulfilled? Sometimes you just got to take the time to ask yourself what you really need and what's going on so you can figure out the direction that you need to go. Right? And once you have that situated, get yourself some skills to really calm the noise, right? The emotional noise that'll overwhelm that fear, the verbal noise, like I'm not good enough, I can't do this, because words are really powerful and it can be really limiting. Sometimes we create our own little boxes based on what we're saying to ourselves. In my work, I teach a lot of mindfulness and mindset work for that purpose, because we've got to figure out what stories we're speaking to and over ourselves, right? So, make sure that you take some time to do that. Then I want you to just make a list of, what you've been avoiding, and maybe start seeing yourself there, and then go do that thing, right? So yeah, I've been taking in all this stuff, but what do you want to do with it, right? Where do you want to be? Where do you want to go? Start to think about that, right? So add to that list what you want to do, where you want to go, and then add to it, okay, like, how can I get there, in the sense of what do I have already to get me there? Am I creative? Am I funny? Am I dedicated? Listen, use all of those things to help you get there. You may not have all the pieces, but you got you, and you're the first and most important resource. So use that, right? So you evaluated, you looked at where you want to go, you looked at your own skills, strengths, and abilities, and then I want you to find some people with the same goals, same ideas as you, and go run with them, right? Even if you have to walk first. I'm very intentional about, working with people that are a little bit ahead of me, because I want to be able to push myself to that place. And that's how I've worked just as like a runner and being on teams. Like it's all these different people with all these different abilities and capabilities, but we're all able to kind of work together to get us to the same point and the same destination, right? And it's the same way how I work with my own groups. I'm intentional about my accountability groups when I bring women together, because even though we're at different levels, it forces us all to kind of recalibrate and bring the group to equilibrium, right? So you may not be able to do that by yourself, and you may need to put yourself around people that's going to push you to be where you need to be, right? If that makes sense, drop a heart. I know I need to just talk to myself, right? I see you, girl. You said I was just talking about that on the live today, right? Sometimes we need to put ourselves around the right people. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because not everybody can give you what you need. Not everybody will push you out of that comfort zone. And you need people that are willing to do that, okay? So that is my reminder for you today. Like, you are a woman with purpose. And the best recognition that you can give yourself today, International Women's Day, honey, is recognizing yourself and really positioning yourself to bloom where you're planted. All right. So my name's Amanda Fludd. You guys are awesome. Thank you for stopping by. I really do appreciate that. If you can, join us on our Facebook group for our I Am Women series. We're celebrating amazing women in our communities, people that are just doing it now, that are showing up, that are trying, or at least just connect with me and, DM, wherever y'all. I love talk to y'all. But I think if anything, walk away with, what's going on with me? What do I need? Am I fulfilled? Am I happy? Do I need to do some work to better position myself to grow and bloom and do the things that I want to do? Happy International Women's Day, ladies. Talk to you later.